Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made a remarkable statement recently that has captured the attention of the world. During a press conference in Kiev, just one day before the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Zelensky declared he would be willing to step down from his position if it meant peace for Ukraine. Even more surprisingly, he added that he would be open to resigning if it would result in Ukraine securing NATO membership. This bold admission came in response to a journalist, who asked Zelensky whether he would consider stepping aside to facilitate peace efforts. Zelensky's response was direct. "If for peace for Ukraine, it's truly necessary for you that I leave my post, I am ready," he said. He continued, "We can exchange it for NATO membership. If those are the terms, then let's do it without delay." Zelensky emphasized that his primary concern is Ukraine's security, not his own political future. "I'm focused on Ukraine's security today, not in 20 years, and I have no intention of staying in power for a decade," he said, making it clear that his greatest aspiration is to secure lasting peace for his country. Zelensky's comments come at a time of growing international pressure regarding the ongoing war with Russia. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has been vocal in criticizing Zelensky, calling him a dictator without elections, and suggesting that he could be an obstacle to ending the war. Trump, who has been shifting his stance on the conflict, even argued last week after U.S.-Russia talks in Saudi Arabia that Zelensky better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. This public breakdown in relations has led to further tensions, especially as Trump also pushed for a deal that would have Ukraine pay back $500 billion to the United States. Trump presented this amount as a form of back pay for the financial aid the U.S. has provided to Ukraine since the war began. However, Zelensky has firmly rejected this proposal, stating that the terms were unworkable and would put an enormous burden on future generations of Ukrainians. He pointed out that Ukraine had already received over $100 billion in aid, and that the deal would require the country to repay $2 for every dollar of aid received. Zelensky expressed that the amount being demanded by Trump was 5 times more than what the U.S. has contributed since 2022. "I just want a dialogue with President Trump. I think that's fair. I'm not signing off on something that future Ukrainian generations will have to pay back for the next 10 generations," Zelensky added during the press conference. Despite the tensions, Zelensky made it clear that discussions with the U.S. government are ongoing. His chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, has been in talks with Trump's team, including National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and Zelensky assured reporters that the previously discussed $500 billion figure was no longer on the table. "We're making progress," he said. One key point that Zelensky reiterated during the press conference was that NATO membership remains the most cost-effective solution for ensuring Ukraine's long-term security. He stressed that any peace deal for Ukraine would need to include firm security guarantees, as Ukraine cannot afford to remain vulnerable in the face of an ongoing threat from Russia. While Zelensky has expressed his willingness to consider peace options, including stepping down for the greater good, he remains determined to secure NATO membership for Ukraine, which he believes would provide a critical security umbrella for the country in the future. He made it clear that Ukraine must have security guarantees if any peace agreement is to be deemed viable and sustainable in the long term. As the war continues to ravage Ukraine, Zelensky's bold approach to negotiations is sure to keep the world's attention. The question now remains: could Zelensky's willingness to resign actually lead to peace and a stronger, more secure Ukraine within NATO? And will the international community, including the U.S., work with him to make this vision a reality? As the situation unfolds, this is a story to watch closely, with far-reaching implications for the future of Ukraine, NATO, and global security.